What's going on, everybody? Eric Leninger from G Loomis Fly Fishing, and today we are going to be tying the articulated sculpin. So on the Chocklett's Game Changer kind of spine series, just utilizing a couple of them, and we're going to be tying on a Ahrex 60-degree streamer hook bent 2/0. We got some sculpin heads here. Large. We got some olive and black rubber legs. We've got a little bit of the Gamechanger Chenille. Maybe a tungsten bead in there for a little more weight. And then spines in 15, 20, and 20 mil. A little bit of black Marabou. And to finish it out, some Indian hen saddle. It's in the wrong bag, and it's olive. So let's get started. Let's pop this guy out. First thing you're going to want to do is get that 15 mil spine, dig it out, pop it in your vise like so, and then just put a little thread base on there. This is just Veevus 6/0. So just gonna attempt to wrap it on there like so, and then we're gonna make a little marabou tail for some wiggle. So I'll grab a couple of these guys, and if you have some not so good marabou feathers in your pack, this is a good use of them. Just throw that over there. So I usually get like 2. Let's just get these 2. And you just want to stack them on top of each other. And then get that big clump. You don't need to pull any of the excess feathers off or anything. And just pop it in there. Give it kind of a loose wrap. A couple of them. And then just kind of lock it in. After a couple ties, you can trim that guy off and just kind of tighten everything up. Pretty straightforward. And then we're just going to get a couple of these hen saddles. And what you want to do is you want to start at the bottom where they're smaller, and then as you work towards the front of the fly, you want it to kind of have a bigger profile. You want that taper to start small, get larger. So we're going to start at the bottom and just grab a couple. And same thing, I'm just going to take these, stack them on top of each other. Then just put them in there. Tie them down. Sometimes it slips the feather, so I'll just tuck that tip of that feather in and just wrap it back over itself. And then we're just going to palmer this stuff forward just like we would any other feather. So 1, 2, 3 turns. You don't want anything huge. You just want kind of a little collar there, some color. Tie it off. And then just snip our excess. Kind of fold this stuff back a little bit. And that's pretty much the tail. You can grab your whip finisher if you know how to do it with your hands. Do it that way. And then I just get a little bit of the Pro Sport Fisher UV Cure because that's stuff, and I just kind of dab it on there. That stuff cures the hardest. The Loon stuff's good too. I just kind of prefer that the Pro Sport Fisher stuff. It seems to dry a little harder. So pretty simple first step. Then we're going to get our 20 mil articulated fish spine, dig it out. Get it in there. Pop this guy out. Pop that one back in. And then just put a thread base on. I like to put just a little dot of super glue on that thread, just so it doesn't unwind on us. Hopefully that fly will get some serious action so it can get chewed on a bunch and it kind of holds up after a while. So there we go. So this stuff's kind of cool. I really like this. I gotta look at the name of it because I use it so much. The Gamechanger Chenille. There's all these different names of this chenille, and you know, they got finesse changer stuff and body changer stuff. But this stuff is the Gamechanger Chenille. It's pretty long. It's extra long chenille, really. So you could cut some off and tie it on, or you can just tie it on and then trim accordingly. That's what we're gonna do here. So I'm just gonna tie the very end of that in. Go about, I don't know, halfway down the spine. And then as I palmer it, I'm trying to like pull those that material back just so it kind of lays on there correctly. So like, you know, 2 or 3 turns of that stuff will be good. Leave some room for that hen saddle. Tie it off. Do some trimming. And then this stuff, I kind of just go straight at it. I want to get kind of a little bit of an angle. You don't have to get crazy about it, but just to help that taper continue. And I trim this stuff down pretty short in the rear here. Sometimes you gotta break your law, break your rule, kind of go like that. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just, you want it to not stand so tall in the rear. If you just think of how a sculpin is, it's got that big head and then it tapers down to a narrower back end. So there is some trimming involved here. I'll take a look at it. Okay, it's looking pretty good there. And then same thing, we're going to get our Indian hen saddle. We're going to take 2 more feathers a little bit higher up, kind of like maybe a quarter way up. 1 and 2. As you may have noticed, my sister doesn't have an inside voice, so that's her screaming into her laptop above us. So I'm going to get 2 of those. And just get the very, very tip of that guy. And tie it in. Again, you can get that tip and just kind of fold it back, or you can trim it if you got faith that it's not going to come loose. I don't. That guy's in there. Oh, okay, so that happened. So we're going to back it all off. Love when that happens. Nothing more that I like than doing stuff twice. So there we go. Try this again. Tie that guy in. All right. Pull them back and start wrapping. So it's about like 5 turns. Get in there. Tie it off. Cut it off. You can kind of get in there and pick it out a little bit, or sometimes a little brush works better. So you got like your little mini shoulder there to start off, right? And then just, that thing's real squeaky. Wait, finish it off. Same thing, UV cure just a little, just kind of just dab it on there. A little bit goes a long way with that stuff. And so front two parts are done. Okay, so third part, 25 mil. Just slide it on there. Pop it back in. Grab our thread. So pretty much the same kind of steps over and over, just trying to get that taper to get a little bit bigger as you go through. And the reason I wanted to start tying a couple of these in October right now is I really want to try catching some smallies in the dead of winter. So, you know, I love going out taking people steelhead fishing, but occasionally you get a really bright sunny day and you either got to just go for broke or try to reschedule your guys for a little bit better weather pattern in the future. But if you have a really sunny day in the winter, that's going to be pretty much your best shot at hooking some smallmouth. You know, they're cold-blooded, so as the water starts to get colder, they slow down and they're just less aggressive. They're going to be a little bit deeper. But they have to feed, and so if you want to go fishing a little bit more in the winter, rather than just picking your perfect overcast days for steelhead, if you get hit with a sunny day, it's like, great, let's go chase smallies. So you want something that's going to get down pretty quick. You also want, you know, that fly to be somewhat large to get their attention. So it's like, hey, if you move and eat this, it's going to be worth it. So not throwing super small stuff in the winter. So get it to sink down quick, keep it down, and get their attention. So, you know, second to crawfish, I would say that sculpin is probably their second most. God, man, speaking is just, I'm so good at it. I speak good. I speak good. They just eat them a lot. That's what I'm trying to say. Crawdads first, sculpin second, mixed in with minnows or whatever. Out here we have a lot of sculpin in our rivers. We got a lot of cold, clean water. So we're going to trim a little bit of that off because we don't want it to be fully, it's like you got to try to like line it up. Having scissors that aren't 5 years old is beneficial. So if you've got some nice new scissors, you're going to be doing a lot better than I am here. Mine just like pushes it. It's just like, oh, what you want to do is push those fibers. See, you get them and just push them to the back. Don't cut them, scissors. Whatever you do, don't do what you're designed to do. Just kind of push that material around. So get real frustrated while you're doing this. Yeah, now you're doing it. Now you're tying it the right way. Mad. Okay. So not a ton, kind of look at it. You don't want it to get super small, so that's getting there. And don't get crazy about it when speaking from somebody that lets it get crazy. It doesn't have to be super perfect. You just want that taper. So we're gonna get a couple bigger feathers, a little bit longer, a little more full. So I'm still gonna use 2 here. There we go. Kind of lay them on top of each other again, like, you know, just, it doesn't have to be perfect, like I said, just around the same length. And then just separate that, that tip there. And just put that right there. Right in front. Some twists and turns. Again, I like to fold it back, just hopefully make it that much more durable. And then grab those guys. Kind of get it started by getting those fibers going the right way towards the rear there. Kind of help it around the first one if you need to. And then just every time just wrap a little bit in front of that previous wrap. That guy. That guy. And just kind of keep wrapping till you get all the way to the front there. Get kind of some of these softer, longer pieces of this feather at the very end, and that's definitely not a bad thing. It's like chickaboo, mini marabou, just moves pretty good. Once you get kind of that thicker stem though, and it's not wanting to twist, hopefully here at the end, and yeah, you guessed it, tie it off. Get in there with your scissors, pick that stuff up, and tie it off again. Whip finish, glue, and your third part is done. There we go. Just dab it, dab, 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 dab. There we go. That one got a little out of control. Hit it with the light. Good deal. So, it's coming along. So now we're gonna take this off the vise. We're gonna get our hook, which is our, if you want to know the exact name, it's the TP650 26-degree bent streamer hook 2-aught. That is a mouthful, but it's pretty sweet. It's got a big wide gap, it's heavy wire, and then you can see that arc goes up that 26 degrees. So actually I'm going to put it in kind of upside down first. And just kind of put the thread in the middle. And you want some weight on this guy. So if you just get some Senyo's intruder wire or any type, you could use, you know, like 60-pound braid. Probably even use backing. This stuff's a little bit more stout, so I just gonna lay it on there. About halfway. Then this is a 3/16 tungsten bead. Just slide that guy on. You can find it. And then I just fold it over like that. My watch is telling me that my timer's done because my camera will quit recording and then I get to do this all over again. So let's cut this off. Use that again. Just kind of tie that down and around. And then get some UV cure. Just kind of get it all around it on the bottom. That will pretty much lock that tungsten bead in, and in 1,000 years excavating whatever river it's on, they dig that hook out and that bead will still be on it. Alright, I'm going to hit stop on the record. We'll continue on after this. Okay, so back at it. A little bit more thread here. Get another piece of wire. Since this doesn't have a hook in the rear, you don't have to like really lock it down crazy, just because it's not going to pull out. So the taper's pretty universal, but I'll still turn it upside down from the way I tied it in, just because this, when it flips around, it's going to be upside down. If that makes any sense. I don't think it really matters that much, but it's just something I've always done. And then this is kind of key. You don't want this guy up here. You want it kind of in line with the hook. So just wrap your thread until it's kind of straight with the hook, which is right about there. Give a couple wraps. tighten it up a little bit, and then just tie it down. And you don't need a huge loop back here. Actually, the smaller the loop, the better. Then it seems to foul less. So that, I'll go around that bead to the other side. And I'm not going to fold it back and do all the crazy tie-in stuff, because again, it shouldn't pull out, especially with all the UV cure I'm going to dump on it right now. So don't get it on that loop back there, but just everywhere else, and kind of coat it. Try not to, just like I said, try not to get the Marabou in it. So I'll just dump it in there twice. There we go. Now, yeah, 3 times. Cool, 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 cool. And then just grab your ginormous Loon light and light it up. Okay. So that tungsten bead there will help it ride right side up too. Just that added weight with the sculpin head, and you're trying to keep it pretty sparse so it sinks down, stays down. So at this point, I'll just wrap back over to get to the rear, and I'm going to take that hook and spin it back around. Cool. You could tuck this over here. Sometimes it works, or over here. That's not going to do it. More Gamechanger chenille. And just place it right there. Tie it in, kind of wrap back on it a little bit. And then right in front of that bead. Same thing, kind of brush that stuff back so it starts going towards the rear of that hook, just for taper and profile reasons. Get about 2 wraps there. Then up and over that bead, and in front of it, like so. Get it caught all in that thread. That's what you want to do. Make a mess of it. One more, and I'm going to tie it off right there, actually. Get in, tie that guy off, because we're still going to add some rubber legs, some more hackle, or hen saddle, and that sculpin head. So kind of get it tied off there. Brush this around, just if anything's caught in there, it kind of pops loose. There you go. Coming along. And then this is where we want to get the biggest hen saddle, so the ones all the way at the top. And I'll sometimes even do like 3. I want it to definitely have some profile, sometimes 4. Just play around with it a little bit and see what works best for you. But between 3 and 4 has always done me pretty well. So that might be enough. See, 1. And at this point I do kind of take the soft stuff down there off. It just allows it to, you can stack the feathers a little easier like that. Less to kind of get in your way. So that's 2. I think we'll just do 3. And then just lay them on top of each other, like so. Pinch the ends, kind of separate them a little bit. Sometimes I don't want to. Like this. See how easy that is? Just kind of manhandle it sometimes. Just pinch it together. Oh, lost one. See? Just put it back on top. Okay. I don't really like that one, because the stem is in front of those other 2, so we're going to ditch that guy. Try to grab one more maybe. Oh, that's actually 2 good ones. Okay, so we got our, God man, I am really having a tough time with that one. It's not going in. We're gonna use just 3. Tie them right up against that chenille. This one I'm just gonna cut off. Not for any reason, it's just I picked up my scissors. And try to keep them together. You really don't want to. I guess you could use hackle pliers right now. I don't know where mine went, so... Oh, here we go. Look at the dexterity, people. Just grab all 3 of those stems. That's 2. Kind of keeps them together a little bit easier sometimes. And start wrapping. Okay. That actually didn't go too bad. Started off pretty bad. Kind of comb that, and then now you can kind of take a look at it and see, like, is this kind of how I want it? See, that guy's pretty thick back there, so sometimes I'll go in and re-trim them. I'll just kind of go in there and cut away some stuff. If it's too tall. That's better. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. So the rubber leg thing can kind of get weird. And you can use whatever color you want. This is just a olive, light olive. It looks like there's some black in there, so that might have been not labeled correctly. And just get the whole chunk of them. You want those as pec fins. So I'm just sticking it on the side there. I guess we could do this side first. Pinch it. Couple loose wraps. Like so. And if like this one just wants to be all wonky, just cut it. Don't fist fight it. Like that. Tie off the rest of those legs. Like so. These guys are down here, and we can kind of readjust those at a later date. We're just kind of getting them tied in. Get the other chunk, and you can sometimes take this and just fold it in half if that makes it easier to tie that big chunk in. Kind of get them the same length. Tie those guys in. I used to use like hen saddle feathers to make the pec fins, or all different stuff. And then just recently, I took this guy Danny fishing. He's like Dirty Fly Company, I think is what it is. And one of his flies that he tied had rubber legs as pec fins, and it just, dude, they just move super good in the water. And they help keep the fly kind of upright. So I stole that idea, and now I'm incorporating it in this fly. Blane's version, his book, I think he uses, I don't know, the same feathers or whatever. But that's about it. You're going to cut this guy off. We're going to throw a bunch of Zap A Gap right on top, because when we slide that sculpin head on, you want it to live there. It's got a pretty big gap in the back, so it should make it over those rubber legs. Slide it kind of down, and just hold your hook and just push it back onto it. Boom. There we go. It's like I know what I'm doing. And then it comes with just these little eyes. These are just for us. I don't think a bass swims up and they're like, man, there's no actual eyeball on that sculpin. think they're just having a reactionary bite. But I will admit that I really like the way they look. And as the eyes get knocked off my flies, I usually reach for the ones that have them. So it's a personal thing. Again, get that guy and just a little bit, and we're done. Game Changer Winter Sculpin. And so you're just going to find, you know, drop-offs off of rock ledges, all the likely spots for smallmouth to hang out. And if you find one, kind of hang out there for a while because they want to school up in the winter. And so this thing is just going to get down deep. It wants to lay flat. It's got the tungsten bead down there. It's got some articulation. It's about the right size. It's going to get some attention, hopefully. And still able to cast it. But it's a larger fly. I mean, we're coming in at probably like around 4 inches on that guy. It's got good movement, right color, Winter Sculpin. Give it a go.